Hello, Internet. I'm Dr. Paul.
I'm Diet Dr. Paul.
And we're talking to you about 1994.
That's a Prince song in my head, but you didn't hear it?
No, I didn't.
Are you stupid or something?
Well, my bad.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world? If you're new to us, we drop a new episode every week. We talk about movies, pop culture.
Popcorn.
Yeah.
Popcorn. Is that your favorite?
Uh-huh.
Mine too.
Comic books, models, and this movie, episode, we're talking about what some people consider the greatest year in cinema, second to 1939.
Ugh. Brother, ugh.
And for some of you, you discount 1939 altogether, and so you would say this is the best movie ever.
No, I
Best
disagree.
year.
And after doing my research with this, I would say it's got a lot of big time movies at the top. There's a handful of really big movies, but I think there's a lot of very overrated movies in this year. And I still think that 97 or 99 is better.
Okay.
It's a good year for movies, but it's not the best.
Well, I mean, if you look at the box office, I got the numbers here. The top 5 films in order was Lion King at $771 million, then Forrest Gump, True Lies, Santa Claus, and The Flintstones at 130. In terms of Oscars, the Forrest Gump was big, 13 nominations. It had 16 awards. Most notable, I think, for me was Martin Landau getting the Best Supporting Actor. Martin Landau had done a lot of, he done Emmy awards, Mission Impossible, that kind of stuff. He worked with Hitchcock on North by Northwest. He got the Best Supporting Actor for
Grumpier Old Man.
Ed Woods.
Oh, Ed Woods.
And he played Bela Lugosi.
Okay,
he kind of channeled that. Tarantino was notable because he got the script for his first
Natural
Oscar.
Born Killers.
His first Oscar was for Pulp Fiction.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
He had Natural Born Killers that he wrote that came out the same year.
As far as snubs go, I mean, really, there are people that believe that he was snubbed on that Pulp should have beaten Gump.
Yep.
There were 6 nominations for Shawshank Redemption, no awards at all. But there are people, when you think about what the pedigree of this year is, you've got Pulp Fiction, Forrest Gump, Natural Born Killers, Leon the Professional, Lion King, True Lies. It's a rich, rich year.
More importantly, it's a rich year for my childhood.
That's probably what I was thinking that you would.
Lion King, Clifford, Mask, Little Rascals, Ace Ventura, Santa Claus, Street Fighter, Double Dragon, Flintstones, Angels in the Outfield, Baby's Day Out, D2 Mighty Duck, Airheads. All of those are big time movies for my childhood.
Yeah.
Boom!
Well, what we're going to do here, if you've ever seen it, we do the 7s, where I've got my top 7. He's got his top 7. I don't know what he's going to say. He doesn't know what I'm going to say. And these were not particularly, for me, the best films. These are the ones I like the most, that I would watch over and over and over again. And I'm going to kick us off with my number 7, which is Leon the Professional, 75% on Rotten Tomatoes. This is the movie that I fell in love with Luc Besson with. It's got Gary Oldman, who to me almost steals the show. He shows that he is a major talent. Natalie Portman's more than a pretty face. It's a story essentially of a hitman who takes in a 12-year-old girl after her family is murdered. It is sweethearted and tender, but it's also really kind of scary and terrifying. Yeah. I think it's Luc Besson's best film.
Yeah, by far and away, it's his best film. And that's the type of magic that and Fifth Element are why I'm excited for Dracula, A Love Story. So, but yeah, it's not on my list, but I really highly enjoy that film as well. And
yep, your number 7.
Yeah, my number 7. My bad, Internet, is going to be Stargate by Roland Emmerich. I am a big fan of that movie. I have it on VHS. And I specifically, in the 3 actors that I wrote that star in this film, I made sure to mention Kurt Russell, James Spader, and French Stewart from Third Rock from the Sun, who plays a soldier in this. It's the weirdest casting choice I've ever seen in my life. But I think the film actually works really well. It spawned a ton of TV shows and other movies. It made a bit of money, and it's actually got pretty good scores. 7 out of 10 on IMDb, 73%. Audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. It's a good movie.
You know, we love Kurt Russell here. Kurt, Thanks for the Christmas present.
He disarmed
Sure.
a nuke in this.
I did not like this.
I know you didn't.
I didn't. It was a real, and I saw it one time.
Mhm.
Okay.
I would watch this movie all the time.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of this one.
No.
I knew he wasn't going to like it.
No,
That's
it wasn't. And I'm surprised thus far the direction that you're heading. I mean, I think I can pretty much guess what your number one's going to be.
No, you can't.
Now, my number 6 is Maverick. Yep.
I like that movie a lot.
68%. It's got, talk about Mel Gibson. It's got the James Garner, who was the original Maverick, Jodie Foster, James Coburn, and it's helmed by Richard Donner, director of the greatest Superman, the greatest comic book movie of all time. This is kind of a bridge between the past and the future. And I think that's what Hollywood started to do. They started going back and taking TV shows or movies that were done. You have a built-in audience. So you do things like Lost in Space or Mission Impossible or Man from U.N.C.L.E. You know the people that grew up with that are going to be there, and then you try to bridge it with a new audience. This was perfect when you have Mel Gibson, which was one of the top actors of that time, coupled with James Garner. So I want to go see Maverick. I loved the TV show growing up. It was just really perfect. Great chemistry in this whole thing. And essentially, Maverick is a gambler, a riverboat gambler, and he's trying to get it's a poker game on the water. And Jodie Foster is wants to play. It's a lot of twists and turns of who do you trust and who do you not trust. It just really was a delightful, sweet-hearted movie that I would watch over and over again.
Yeah, I watched that one quite a bit as a kid for some reason. I don't know why. I think maybe we had it on VHS too, but that's a good movie as well.
Yeah.
And a forgotten gem.
Yep.
My number 6 is not Forgotten Gem because it's got 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. Speed. Jen DeBont, my boy Keanu Reeves out here, Dennis Hopper, Sandra Bullock. It's totally just like a run-of-the-mill run-of-the-mill average action film, you know. But the concept is kind of cool. You get in the bus cannot go below 60 miles an hour. It explodes and everyone on the bus will die. And he's stuck on the bus too. And they just do these really clever things where they're like on surveillance and they find a way to loop a video clip of them inside the bus so that they can pull the people out. But one lady reaches down and touches her sock in the middle of the loop, and Dennis Hopper notices and then blows. It's really cool. It's a good little movie, and Keanu Reeves really starts his career off with a bang.
I loved it. I like the fact that they kill off Jeff Daniels in the beginning of the movie. It's unexpected. You didn't get that. You know, of course, Dennis Hopper is just kind of. I mean, he's Hollywood.
And this is
gold.
94.
Yes.
So this was a big year for him.
Yeah. This is. I absolutely love it. Didn't make my list mainly because it's been so long since I've seen it, and a lot of these I've watched, you know, like at least once a year, kind of stuff. And for some reason, I haven't watched that a lot. It wasn't as good. Speed 2. I didn't.
No, that's
think
got Jason Patrick in it.
Yeah.
Never even seen it.
Yeah. My number 5, probably surprising. It's this low down on the list, but it's Forrest Gump. Was 76% on Rotten Tomatoes. This has not fared as well as far as some of the other films that it was built for people of my generation because it talks about you got Elvis and JFK, and it's got the music that you show across the that time frame. You're sort of growing up and starting with rock and roll and going up into the Haight-Ashbury days of San Francisco. It was delightful and special. Tom Hanks. It's so many lines from that film have become just sort of iconic. I was interesting preparing for this. I didn't know this, but Bill Murray, John Travolta, and Chevy Chase all turned down the role of Forrest Gump. And I think I can't imagine any of those, being the case. Tom Hanks and Robin Wright are also. It's interesting enough. Bob Zemeckis is getting his new film coming out called Here, and when we saw the trailer for that, and it just feels like it's Forrest Gump. You know, Gary Sinise, Sally Field. If you've not, of course you've seen it, but it really is. It's a long movie, but it's delightful. It really is. It's sweet.
I think it's one of the most manipulative movies I've ever seen and is not on my list. And I actually made a point to say that it is incredibly overrated. There are some very overrated movies from this year, in particular, that Interview with a Vampire, The Crow. I don't think Forrest Gump's a bad movie by any stretch. It's a decent movie, but it's manipulative.
How so?
You have the backtrack of all of these iconic things that are going to get people in the feels anyway, and I don't think it mattered what was thrown against the backdrop of it. It's a time ripped through National Geographic, and then you get the points for putting that in the movie, which is great, but I don't think that there's anything to write home about it, to be quite
How
honest.
dare you,
I
sir?
know,
How
right?
dare
How
you?
dare me? The best part about that entire movie is when Lieutenant Dan comes back after he has the fishing boat and he sees him on the dock and he says, "Lieutenant Dan!" And he just dives off the side of the boat and swims to shore, and his boat's just in the background, just like crashing through the dock. It's a hysterical scene. But anyway, moving on to my number 5. This was a down year for horror films as well, and this was the best horror film that came out that year, and that is Wes Craven's New Nightmare, where they return to the old, to the return to roots here, getting everybody back together. Craven, England, Langenkamp, everything that's great about Freddy movies and Nightmare on Elm Street all packed into this film, and you get the added bonus of having updated special effects. So it's kind of one of the more like out there, trippy, Hellraiser-y kind of looking things, and it's one of my favorite. Short, sweet, to the point, baby. I know you didn't like it.
No.
I knew it.
I didn't.
This should be called 1994 Movies That My Dad Doesn't Like.
But I tell you, I totally agree with you. Horror movies were it was a wasteland. So,
yeah, there's not very many good movies that year for horror films.
yeah. My number 4, Clerks. 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I mean, what a film. It's truly unique. It was the birth of a visionary with Kevin Smith. He's sort of like Quentin Tarantino's sort of in the shadow of that.
Quentin Tarantino without the talent.
Oof. I think this resonated a lot with people of that were that age, sort of their world and their life, and what you work in a video store, you work in a little carry out deal, and I also think it just inspired people that could make their own films and independent. It is self-referential, and the talk and how they talked in the movie, it just was wonderful, and the story of it. Unfortunately, I think it was I don't want to say it was a one-shot flash in the pan, because I think the rest of his movies pale in comparison. The next one will probably be Chasing Amy that I liked.
I like Dogma a lot.
Yeah, and they're getting ready to re-release that too. That he's sort of gotten control of that back, and he's gonna tour with it. But no, I think this is one of those movies. It's laugh out loud funny. And it's definitely, for people that generation, I think it is iconic.
It's a good movie. It's a very good movie. I think it just didn't make my list because it's technically not the best film from a filmmaking standpoint, because it's so low budget. So it was up against some heavy hitters too. But I think that's a movie that deserves to be talked about, at least.
Yeah.
Number 4. Tarantino written, Oliver Stone directed, Natural Born Killers. I know not everybody is going to like this movie, but I think just for what it did, the bounds, the chances it took, it was a little different than some films from this era. And big fan, Woody Harrelson, man, they do a good job.
I did not like the movie.
I know you didn't. Again, this is movies you don't like.
It just did not. I didn't like the tone of the movie. It just was kind of.
Yeah, it's a tough movie to watch.
It is.
It's a heavy hitter.
But it is iconic in terms of what it wasn't Stone.
Oliver Stone. Yeah.
No, that didn't work for me.
Mm-hmm. And the only reason that Tarantino refused to direct it is because they wouldn't give him complete control over it.
I would have liked to have seen what he would do.
Yeah, I think it could be interesting.
Yeah, I agree. My number 3, Dumb and Dumber. And I am shocked it's 47% on Rotten Tomatoes. This was a huge year for Jim Carrey, because he had The Mask, he had Ace Ventura, and had this. And I think this is the best. In some ways, I think this is one of the best comedies of all time.
Agreed.
It
right there
is
with Blazing Saddles.
It is. It's sweet, but it's like comedy and drama, pain and laughing are sort of like the two sides of a coin.
Mhm.
And he goes back and forth. There's times where it's side-splittingly funny. There's visual humor, there are jokes in it, but it's also the pain that is in him when he's talking about trying his
Tired of
life.
having nobody.
Yes, and talking about where his life is at
And
and
turning around and he's got the tear.
it's really just a fantastic performance that he does. Jeff Daniels holds his own in that, which is no small.
Jeff Daniels might be the glue that holds carries the performance that sets it off, but Daniels is the heart and soul of it. I
Yeah,
think.
I think this is a brilliant film.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree.
Never
Maybe-
get tired of watching.
Maybe it'll be on my list. We'll have to wait and see. That was your number
3.
three. Okay, my number 3. Let's just hit Tarantino again and just go Pulp Fiction because we both know it's on the list. It's probably going to be your number 1 or number 2 movie, obviously, but it is. It's Tarantino at his finest. It's not my favorite Tarantino movie, but and I think maybe the older I get, the less appreciation I may have for it because I've seen it so many stinking times. But it's an amazing film. I think everybody's seen it. Hopefully, if you haven't seen it, when you're done with this, what are you doing?
And most notably, it was the renaissance for John Travolta.
Yep.
It just brought him back in a brilliant performance.
Created the persona of Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh yeah, I mean Bruce Willis, and it's unexpected. The whole thing. It's just everything in it. The music, the set design. It just really it is an amazing film.
The dancing, the twist scene.
Yeah. Good job. Well, my number 2 is Three Colors Red.
I'm just like knocking every time you say a movie. I'm like, yep, had it on my list. I should have had a separate list for you. These are the movies that will be on your list.
98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
I
if you
mean,
can do the subtitle thing.
It is Krzysztof Kieslowski. He's a Polish director. He did a trilogy called Three Colors, and this Red is considered to be the greatest. Roger Ebert called this a masterpiece. It is one of the most amazing things ever committed to film. The story of this is there's a young girl, and she hits a dog with her car, and she gets the dog and tries to take care of it and get the vet and all that, but she wants to get it back to the owner, so she figures out who the owner is, and in the course of that, he is a retired judge who is eavesdropping electronically on people in the neighborhood. And so they become friends. And in the course of this, it's sort of how their lives are interwoven. It is at the end of this thing, you will be in tears, good tears, happy tears. It is what I suggest you do is get the box set and watch all 3 of them, but watch every single special feature that goes with it. And where Kieslowski talks about what he does and why he does it as a filmmaker. I mean, just something simple like stirring, sugar cube into coffee. It will change how you watch movies for the rest of your life. Brilliant.
Ask me how many times I watched it.
None.
Once.
Really?
Yeah.
And? Did you cry?
No.
You
It was like most foreign films I watched in school. They just kind of glazed over.
You have no heart.
I know. My number 2 is all about heart and soul. Shawshank Redemption. 98%, 89%, 9.3 out of 10 on IMDb. Frank Darabont, Stephen King, Robbins Freeman, Clancy Brown, Bob Gunton, bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. Enough said. I mean, it's Shawshank Redemption. We all know, we've talked about it ad nauseum. It's the first thumbnail we ever used was a Shawshank Redemption clip.
Daily Double.
I knew it was going to be your number 1 movie.
My number 1.
Yep.
And I tell you what's interesting in preparing for this, Stephen King never cashed. He got $1,000 for the screen rights of this. And he never cashed that. Years after the movie came out, he had it framed and he sent it to Darabont with a note that says, in case you ever need bail money, love, Steve. Which I just think is delightful. This movie is really one of the greatest movies ever made. We've said that. It's kind of in the same vein as Citizen Kane, Wizard of Oz, It's a Wonderful Life. When those movies came out, they kind of flopped. And this one, it's only made $28 million that year. But in the course, I mean, Blockbuster is the one that saved this. That's where it came alive. It's all about celebrating the power of friendship, of male friendship. And it is, you've already seen it. Go watch it right now. It's just an amazing, amazing film.
Best part about that is now I get to use a Dayman clip from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Well, we're glad.
I got a number one.
Oh, that wasn't number one?
That was your number one.
Like, I thought you said your number one.
That
Okay.
was my number two.
I'm sorry.
My number one is the best movie from this year, Dumb and Dumber. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da-ba.
So we had some overlap there.
I knew we were going to. If I had to deify the heck out of Forrest Gump. Boo! Just to make some differences. But we all knew this was going to happen.
Yeah. I totally agree. I think that Three Colors Red is a great film.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dumb and Dumber, and they're good movies.
Mm-hmm.
And movies can be, the
Yeah, it's just a
distinction between.
difference. It's the difference in what you're aiming to do versus what a comedy or
Yeah.
that's aiming to do.
The Three Colors will change your life.
Yeah.
Obviously not yours.
I was a 18-year-old college student
Yeah.
with a thick head.
Well, so 1994 was.
It's a good year.
It
It was
was.
a good year. Bold oaky tannins, a forest floor.
Yeah. Let us know which year you would like us to celebrate. Maybe 1939 is up next, which
didn't say
for some of our viewers. Oh, it's a great year. I'm telling you, we wouldn't have 1994 if it wasn't for 1939.
Yeah.
And I wasn't alive in 39. So send us your ideas, your thoughts, like us, subscribe, tell your mom, your dad, go to the movies, and we'll see you there.
Kill